For the Tourette Syndrome Awareness Month. And we have a proclamation here that talks about Tourette syndrome and how the Awareness Month is to create enhanced public awareness to help children and adults with this condition, to help them get a proper diagnosis and treatment, and to broaden public knowledge and reduce stigma. And it goes on to talk about it a little bit in each area. The Awareness Month is May 15th to June 15th. It talks about what Tourette syndrome is, and that we hope that school administrators, educators, and regular public and peers of students will get to know a little more about Tourette syndrome so that there can be a more positive attitude about it and help these folks with this condition. But we're very happy that this was brought to our attention. And I want to thank Carlin, who introduced us to her son, Jack. And Jack is here, and I'm going to present this proclamation that resolves that we as a town board declare May 15th to June 15th to be National Tourette Syndrome Awareness Month in order to raise public awareness and improve services and support for individuals and families impacted by Tourette syndrome and tic disorders. And Jack, you're going to tell us a little bit about it, right? Thank you.
You guys also have some handouts.
Okay. So this is for you.
Thank you on the behalf of the Tourette Association of the New York Hudson Valley.
You're welcome. Thank you. So please come up and tell us a little bit about it.
All right. Good evening, and thank you for this opportunity. I am Jack Carlin, and I am a sophomore at Mamaroneck High School. I am a youth ambassador for the Tourette Association of America. As a youth ambassador, I go into other schools with other youth ambassadors to promote Tourette syndrome, and I am honored to speak to the town board. May 15th through June 15th is National Tourette Syndrome Awareness Month. The goal is to educate people about Tourette syndrome in order to promote acceptance and reduce the stigma. Children with Tourette are often bullied, teased, and made fun of, and yes, it's happened to me. What is Tourette's? For starters, it's a medical condition. It's not curable. Specifically, it's a neurological developmental disorder typically diagnosed in childhood. The symptoms can continue through adulthood. The most obvious symptom of Tourette syndrome are the tics, and that's tic with a TI, ending with a TIC, not with a TICK. They're not bugs, and they're not contagious. Tics are movements or sounds that your body makes that it cannot control. Lots of kids have tics at some point in their lives, but that's not necessarily Tourette syndrome. About 1 in 100 school-age children in the U.S. have tics or Tourette's. A Tourette syndrome occurs only in about 1 in 160 school-age children. A diagnosis of Tourette syndrome requires 2 or more motor tics that are movements, at least 1 vocal tic, which are sounds and/or words, and tics for at least a year before the age of 18. Now let's talk about the cursing tic, which is what people think about when they hear Tourette syndrome, because it's been made fun of on the news, on TV, and in movies. It's actually called coprolalia, and it's very rare. Fewer than 1 in 10 people with Tourette's ever have it, but I have never had it myself. Tourette syndrome often comes with other conditions. The tics, what I just said, are just the tip of the iceberg. Many people with Tourette also have one or any of these other conditions, such as ADHD or OCD. Tics can get worse when there is stress, anxiety, fatigue, illness, or even excitement. So let's say you picture a classroom, a movie theater, an airport, or even a courtroom. It's also important for law enforcement to understand that It's also important for law enforcement to understand that Tourette symptoms can worsen when stopped by police, as that's obviously a stressful situation. What I'd really like you to know is that while you may find the noises and movements annoying or distracting, the person with Tourette's cannot control it and is more distracted and annoyed than you. Tics can be embarrassing, uncomfortable, and interfere with everyday life. but people with Tourette syndrome are just like everyone else. Kids with Tourette grow up to be teachers, musicians, doctors, construction workers, and even town board members. Thank you for allowing me to speak and for your time and attention.
Jack, thank you so much for coming here tonight, because it really shows how brave and smart you are to be able to get out and talk about it in front and to help us all understand and appreciate it, because obviously you seem like a great guy. And it's very nice for us to meet you and hear from you. And congratulations on taking this kind of role for Tourette syndrome. I think that really is wonderful, and I think you're going to make a great difference for them.
Thanks. Also, I was a little nervous.
I can understand that.
Everybody is when they stand.
Yeah.
I think it's really great to do this awareness. My nephew has Tourette's, and some of these other conditions I never realized they're related.
Yeah, they can.
And he also did he spoke at an assembly of his whole school, and I think like educating people and especially your peers is so important. And I think it is a lot more common than people think, and people should know it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Mom and Dad, you should be really proud too, because you did a really spectacular job this evening.
Yeah.
So thanks for bringing it to our attention, and thanks so much for coming here tonight.
Thank you.